Welcome to Rock Solid, the Round Rock Business Leaders podcast. Join your host, Bryan Eisenberg, as he explores the journeys of entrepreneurs and companies across Round Rock, Texas. From startups and nonprofits to large organizations, each guest shares their passion for doing business in this thriving community. Let's dive in.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Rock Solid. I'm Bryan Eisenberg, and I'm here with Arjun Sharda, who I think as a guest is going to kind of surprise you. Yes, he looks a little younger, but he runs a business. He runs a not-for-profit. Just wait. Let's catch up. So let's start with the business first, because most people don't think. First of all, how old are you?
I am 14. I just turned 14 last month.
Okay, he just turned 14, and the business is.
So I run a business with my friends that does consulting for websites. So we build websites, we do web hosting, like in-house web hosting and server hosting. That's what we do right now.
And the more interesting one to me in many ways is actually your nonprofit and the app you built around it,
yes,
because the mission behind it is so great. You were frustrated because of who you could and couldn't connect with. So give us some of that background.
Yes, sir. So, I moved from North Carolina to Texas here, right? And it's a thriving economy. But one of the things I realized here in Austin, you can see in Round Rock too, is networking events and conferences, events, such things are pricey. They're either age restricted, inconvenient, or barely happen. Like I'm sure you know South by Southwest. The ticket there is like $2,200.
Yep.
The thing is, I'm low income, and I can't always attend these events. I'm in school. I'm now going into high school, and it's not easy for me to attend these events. And the reason why I want to meet these type of people is I had this dream to start a business or do something remarkable in Austin. But as we all know, you need a network to succeed. And I'm grateful to live in Austin, but what about the people who live in third world countries or, in rural America? That's a problem. That's a real problem.
Yeah, and your app right now, I saw it's in 11 countries.
Yes, sir.
It's 36, 37?
Yes, 37.
37 locations. And how many young people who want to network are connected through your TLEM platform right now?
Yes, sir. We have over 4,000 members right now. We are, quite recently, we became Texas's largest K-12 networking nonprofit.
I didn't know there were other networking nonprofits for K through 12. What is so different about what you've built compared to what some of the other ones that might be out there?
Yes, sir. So I'm sure you've heard of organizations like Future Business Leaders of America or ZECA. Well, the problem with them, they're either pricey, right? They're pricey. I mean, their membership fees are absurd. And in reality, I've met people who are in these clubs. I've even been in some of these clubs. They don't have that interactive element. And that's what networking needs. It feels like another classroom, and that's not what a club should be. A club should be where other people can interact with each other, meet new people, and connect. And we see this problem with, all these big organizations, and we want to fix that. We want to make it where we create a networking environment where people need to network to thrive. It's a very important skill because especially when 75% of high school graduates are unsure about their future, that is something we need to, prioritize. These are our future leaders. These are future politicians, future change makers. What are we doing about them?
We were talking about that before you arrived today. We were talking about AI video generation and just where AI is going. And you've been coding now for like 7 years.
Yes, sir.
And so I'm sure you're dabbling in AI already as well.
Sir.
And we're very curious your take as a younger generation person, because by the time I retire, it's I'm not going to necessarily have to worry about it completely. Yeah. But as a young adult who's thinking about connecting the world, where do you see AI changing things for all of us?
Yeah, well, AI, it's been growing at a very fast pace. OpenAI released November 2022, I believe. it's been growing since a fast scale, and now we have generative AI. We have so many types of AI, and there's a good aspect to it, but there's also a very bad aspect to it. Now, impersonation, deepfakes, everything is on the rise now, and we need to regulate that because that can cause harm to people. I think it's a great tool. It can help you, especially people who aren't, native in a specific language or don't know how to speak a specific language.
Or have learning disabilities.
Yeah, to learn, that language or to be able to speak that language more fluently, for example. It has some very good trade-offs, but also has some bad trade-offs. It needs to be regulated.
If you could wave the magic wand, what do you think the first regulation would be for you on it? That wouldn't feel so bad as a young adult being told you can't use some technology.
Yes, we need to limit well, this is going to get me on the spot, but we would need to limit how people use AI. So, some people use it for very bad causes. Let's limit that. Let's cut that off. There are good uses. I don't think the government should necessarily fully step in the door, but they should be controlling specific parts that can harm celebrities. There's also, people often, hold celebrities to ransom about these things. I think that needs to be stopped. We need to regulate that. We need to work with these AI companies.
So you wouldn't feel bad for someone like Bill who using VO3 and creating an ad for a new book that he's working on that shows a person holding that book even if it didn't exist. That you'd be okay with.
Yeah, I mean it's about how do we define the ethical line between the usage of AI. I think that's completely fine. All right, as long as you're using it in an ethical way, we need to draw that boundary. What is ethical? What isn't ethical? We need to draw that. It's the land of the free, so technically, yes, you can, but we need to draw that ethical line.
I think that's a fair boundary, and we have to define what those ethics look like.
Yes.
I'm really curious. TLEM's been around now a couple of years, right?
Yeah, turning 2 this year.
Some of the impact that you've seen it already have from these connections.
Yeah, I mean, someone actually got, they fundraised, I think, over $300,000 for their hackathon, and in terms of sponsorships. And someone actually,
how old were they?
They were actually just around my age.
Okay.
So and another person, they changed majors from computer science to design after they realized, after we connected them to people, industry leaders, mentors, people and they thought that, this isn't my thing. Computer science isn't my thing. They changed majors to design in university.
So are you connecting them with people who are outside of K through 12 as well?
Yes. So industry leaders, mentors, people who can actually, support them through their journey. And our coverage field is tech, leadership, entrepreneurship, engineering, and math. We're currently serving that field, but, I think you can get the point. Mentors, industry leaders, and just facilitating an environment where people can connect. That's the most important thing. You need that for relationships, meeting people. It's a basic communication skill. What surprises me the most is most students don't know what it is or don't know how to effectively use it or its importance.
Rock Solid is produced and recorded at Round Rock Studio. Located right here in Round Rock, our state-of-the-art studio is built for podcasters and creatives alike. We offer multiple professionally designed podcast sets, top-notch recording gear, and a full photography studio ready for any project. Whether you're launching a new podcast or upgrading your existing one, we can help with multi-camera recording, editing, and everything you need for success. Record with us at Round Rock Studio, your local podcasting partner.
Do you think, and I love that you're connecting people, and if people want to mentor in those particular fields, what's their process to doing that?
Yeah, so art clubs often reach out to them, or sometimes people reach out to art clubs. So we have clubs that we deploy. We have school clubs and community clubs. So we deploy them all across the world, as you know. Mm-hmm. And so they often either reach out to them or they reach out to us. It's that. And then they work with their clubs.
And if somebody else wanted to start a club in their local school district, like I know you're going into the Round Rock ISD now as well, how would they go about that process?
Yeah, it's pretty easy. We made it convenient, and you can just follow it on our website, TLEM.org/chapters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Awesome. Now, you've developed this platform to connect kids, and I know you said one of the things that frustrated you was, things like LinkedIn and Instagram and some the others are really moving towards 16 plus. Do you think there should be separate networks, or what happens when you go from 14 to 16?
Yeah. So, I mean, I honestly think that there shouldn't be an age requirement to networking, like in specific. I will tell you, you don't know how many cold emails that I've sent, and that it has bring me from point 1 to point 2. So cold emails, meeting people, reaching out, it's helped me a ton personally, and I know the value of networking. I don't think it should be balanced by any age, because a lot of the times the people in my industry, they're older than me. They're in their 30s, 40s, and I have to reach out to them. I'm in the nonprofit industry, so we have to work with older people as well, for grants, for fundraising, for all these types of things.
Are you writing your own grants and doing all of that as well?
Yeah, we're fundraising. We're doing a lot of stuff right now. We got we got some support from Walmart for a program of ours here in Austin and within Metro Austin that's going to be providing non-dilutive microgrants to student projects.
I saw that on your website. Yeah, tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so one of the things that I faced is getting the initial funding for projects. So we want to provide some initial supports to these projects, student-led projects, particularly underrepresented or low-income students. We want to provide them some basic support and mentorship to at least help them get that off the ground. There's a lot of potential, a lot of creativity within Austin. We're a tech capital. We're a startup capital. I just think we need to leverage that. And it's not going to hurt. Even if the project fails, they learn something new.
Completely. Now, you've bounced around a little bit with your family, right? You've been in California, North Carolina. You were in Leander. Now you're here in Round Rock. What are you finding about those communities that really resonate with you, that help you flourish?
Yeah. So I moved to Round Rock in 2023. So when I moved, I started TLEM there in Round Rock, here in Round Rock. So I've noticed that Round Rock it's like the neighbor next door to Austin. It's a very big business area as well. It's second to Austin, I would say so. It's been a great place for me to grow. You get to meet a lot of people. There's a lot of business leaders here too. We have the biggest water park in the U.S. We have companies like, I think, Dell headquartering here. So it's a big place. People are right nearby, and it's helped me grow in some place. Being in a thriving environment, it does matter.
Yeah, well, it's the reason we started this podcast, because there are so many amazing business leaders in our community and community leaders as well that, we wanted to make sure to feature them. Now, I want to swing back towards your business, because, you're in this website and hosting business, and there are a lot of those.
Yes,
why do people choose your brand?
Well, for us, some people are tired of their old websites, and for us, we have affordable pricing. We're transparent with our customers. We don't just add pricing within our invoices. We don't add random price surges. We are transparent with our customers, and that's what makes them refer us to other people, other clients. And it's that you need to be transparent. You need to be honest. You need to be, as long as you do those, customers will be loyal to you as long as you do those.
Now, what's the ideal, client look like? Like, how do you find them? How do they find you?
Yeah, so the ideal client could be, in practicality, anybody. They're organizations mostly organizations. We do organizations. We're actually doing one right now for a salon, and it's nationwide. It's pretty interesting. They refer us to other people, and that's how we expand our network. We get more clients. That's how we grow.
So if someone's listening today and they're thinking, well, I don't really love my host, I'd want to talk to you about that. How would they know that they're getting a valuable product from you, and it's the equivalent to whatever they've been paying for?
Yeah, we're transparent. A lot of times you'll realize that, and I saw someone's website. I asked them, how much do you pay for your website? They told me they pay $200 a month, and their website, they don't even control it.
Okay.
Like, it's that bad. And I'm like, if we can give you a website which is way better for a one-time fee of like $250 or $500 and only a maintenance of like $10, $15 a month, isn't that, that's way better in the long term? We show them the value. What's the value in a company like ours. And I have the experience, I have the websites too. I've built these projects and people are able to see them. Me and my friend have built these projects. So we have that social proof and real proof to validate that.
I'm listening to you and I'm hearing, words like social proof and stuff like that, the transparency, that a lot of businesses don't echo all the time. They don't share that on a regular basis. Where'd you pick up all of this wisdom from?
Yeah, well, I look at other companies. What makes them successful, right? We have big companies like Google, Yahoo, or all these companies. How did they start? And I think a lot of businesses they neglect this because you need to step in the shoes of a customer. Why should they buy from you, right? Hey, I'm Arjun. Why do I want to buy from you? What's so special? What's so special about this business that I should buy from it? You need to step in the shoes of the customer. I think it's said a lot, but it's never really implemented in a lot of these businesses.
You're about to head into high school.
Yes, sir.
And I'm curious if you've got a 10-year vision for where you want to be.
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say this is my life dream, to help make an impact on other people. It's always been my vision. At first, it was, being the next Steve Jobs of AI, ironically, as, what you're talking about earlier. But it's shifted to being, you can help people in multiple ways. Yes, of course, I want to start a business in the future. I want to embark on new ventures. But I think that you can also help people from the grassroots too, within your community, within, where you live. And it makes me happy, helping other people. When you see other people smile and, be impacted by your work, it really does make you smile as well. It gives you, motivation. It's a motivation factor itself.
You haven't lived here that long here in the Round Rock area, but what are some of your favorite things to do when you're not coding, you're not working, you're not running your not-for-profit, you're not in school? Like, what do you enjoy?
Well, I love listening to music. I do love programming. Aside from all the, commercial stuff I do, it's really interesting. Now we're going into AI now, right? It's the AI era now. It used to be the website era. Now it's the AI era. And it's been interesting for me to explore that. I do work. I create my own AIs too, like my own miniature AIs. And it's been interesting to explore the true power of it. It's been really interesting to me. I'm still so young and there's so much for me to learn. And so I always try learning as much as possible in my free time.
I'm really curious if, you've obviously started a business, started a nonprofit at 14. At this point, you're a little seasoned. We run the children's business fair here in Round Rock. We've had them, some of the kids here as guests as well. But I'm curious if you have advice to them, for these younger kids who want to start a business, to be as fearless as you are as a business entrepreneur.
Yeah, I appreciate your kind words, Mr. Eisenberg. I would say that if you're a young person, find a real need. What's a real problem that you have, that you want to solve? You need to find problems that people actually have and find a way to solve them. If you're able to find that, you have a pretty good start already. You just need to focus on how you appeal to other people. I think you just need to know if your idea, your foundation is solid. If your idea or foundation is solid and you're able to provide value to people, then you have a good business. There's a differentiator. Some businesses are solving problems that people don't have. And you need to have a problem that, other people are facing and that other people need a solution to, but don't have the time or aren't able to.
Yep, you're going to get paid by the size of the problems you solve.
Yes, 100%.
No question. So I definitely see. I know when Bill said he wanted to get you here, you're going to be solving some big problems. In the next few years. I'm really curious, if the audience that's listening to you today, if they could find a way to support you in either your business or your non-for-profit, what would be your ask? What would you ask them to help you with?
Well, of course, I would say, there's multiple ways you can contribute, not just money. Of course, you can volunteer. You can, if you're a student like me, you can start a club in your area, or you can do these little things that make a difference. You can donate, you can volunteer, you can, start a club. There's multiple things you can do. I have a LinkedIn too. So if you guys want to see some of my work in detail and more depth, you can see it has my business and my nonprofit there.
Awesome. If people want to reach out to you and connect with you, maybe ask you some questions, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Yeah, I would say LinkedIn.
The LinkedIn,
yeah. LinkedIn's the best.
Or your websites.
Yeah.
Awesome. Arjun, thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it. And again, we're so excited to see where your future heads.
Thank you, Mr. Eisenberg. And thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely.